Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over this $250 gaming setup. This setup includes the monitor, the keyboard and mouse, the mousepad, the headset, and even the PC. So guys, let's get started. So starting off, let me explain why I'm putting this setup together. So it's actually for my brother who's looking to get into PC gaming and doesn't really want to spend that much money on all of the setup. So what I did was do some research on different sites, and this is all the items that I was able to come up with. So first off, let's start with the monitor itself. So this here is just some Dell monitor that we've had sitting around for quite a while now. It's a pretty basic monitor. It's a 1920 by 1080 24-inch 60Hz monitor, and it's actually a really good pairing with this PC, but we'll get to that a little bit later. If you're looking for a monitor similar to this, you can easily find one on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist for pretty cheap. You can definitely find one for $50 or even less. You can get it for a lower price if you go for a smaller screen size, something like 22 inches or 21.5 inches, or even a lower resolution. But I really don't recommend getting a lower resolution since it's just not going to look as good as 1080p. And I know this is a gaming setup and it has a 60Hz refresh rate, but as I said, it's a really good pairing with this PC. But if you are looking to upgrade in the future, or you're looking to upgrade the PC as well, go looking for a 75Hz or even a 144Hz monitor will be a great upgrade, and it will be good for future-proofing the setup. So moving on to the peripherals, let's talk about this keyboard and mouse combo. It's from a company called Have It, and I bought it on Amazon for $36. And the main reason why I did is because of the keyboard. It's a mechanical keyboard, and a lot of keyboards at this price range aren't mechanical. Although it is cheap feeling and it has rip-off blue switches, it's going to be better than any membrane keyboard that you'll buy. And the RGB effects are really good and are going to be better than any membrane keyboard there. The keycaps actually feel pretty solid, and the switches aren't too rattly, surprising for a really cheap mechanical keyboard. It also is a full-size keyboard, which could be good or bad for your situation. If you have a bigger desk, it's really not going to be a problem, but if you do have a smaller desk or you just have a small area to keep your keyboard, it's really going to take a lot of space. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for this. Make sure you guys have enough space on your desk so you can actually comfortably move first your mouse around and also have space for other items. So moving on to the mouse, is actually not too bad. For the $36, I would think like the keyboard would be $20 to $25. So this mouse is really not that expensive. Maybe like $10 to $15, that's what I'm thinking, but it's not too bad for that price. So it is plastic obviously, but it really has this cool RGB glow effect. It kind of has this ring that goes around. It's pretty cool. You can actually change the color to whatever you want. It has two side buttons on the side. It has a DPI switcher. Obviously you got your left click, right click, and your scroll wheel. And the scroll wheel is actually pretty cool. I like how it's really easy to scroll through, and there's actually mouse grips on the side that actually feel pretty good and help you hold it a lot easier. Although the sensor is not as good, it's actually decent, and for what my brother's going to be doing on the PC, it's not really going to be an issue. But if you guys can and have a little bit more money, you can just get the keyboard itself and get something like the Logitech G203, or if you have a little bit more, something like the Razer Viper Mini. Those mouses are going to have way better sensors, it's going to feel a lot better, and overall it's just a much better mouse than this. But if you are really on a tight budget, this mouse is going to do you just fine. Okay, so let's talk about the mousepad. So you guys can't really see it too well, but it is actually pretty big. It's able to make this keyboard look pretty small compared to it, and this is a full-size keyboard. It actually has an RGB glow effect around it too. It's currently not plugged in, so you guys can't see it, but I'll show you guys in the B-roll footage. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Obviously, it's nothing special. It's not going to be as good as all the more expensive mousepads, but it is relatively thick. But I feel like the overall feel of it is not the best, but obviously for $15, it's pretty good that it's really big and also has that RGB effect. You can obviously pick something that doesn't have RGB or is a lot smaller. But yeah, this is what I just picked up. I picked it up from a discount store, but you can easily find one on Amazon. There are a ton of designs and sizes that you can go through on like Amazon, so just make sure you guys check there so you guys can get the perfect mousepad. Okay, so now let's talk about the headset. So this is the Logitech G33 II. It's one of Logitech's, I think it's their cheapest headset out there, but it's actually not that bad. For $38, you're getting a pretty good pair of headphones. It's actually super comfortable, way more comfortable than my current headphones, which I can only wear for a couple hours before my ears start to hurt. And these ones I can actually wear for a full session without having to take them off, and it's really surprising for such a cheap price. Sound quality is not bad for the price. You can actually hear pretty good directional audio. The main thing I don't like about it is the microphone. The mic just doesn't sound very good. If you're just going to be using it for voice chatting, you know, in Discord with your friends, it's not going to be that bad. But if you're going to use this for videos or you're going to be using it for streaming, it's just not really going to be there, and it's just not going to sound very good. If you are looking to make videos or streaming, there are tons of external microphones that you should pick up instead. But if you're just using it for voice chat and like Discord, it's not going to be too bad. I would definitely recommend this headset, especially for the price under $50. It's a really good deal, and I feel like it's one of the better options out there. Okay, so now let's move on to the PC. So this is a Dell Optiplex 3010. As you guys can see, it's a lot smaller than the other Dell Optiplexes that you've probably seen, which are a lot bigger. This one's a lot smaller, and I paid $70 on Marketplace to get this. this. Obviously it's not the best deal, but I actually got this a couple months ago when the market was like super bad, so it was actually not too bad of a deal. It comes with an i5 3450, 8GB of RAM, and an 128GB SSD, and there's no GPU in here, it's just the iGPU. But the reason I have this here and I haven't upgraded it yet is because of what my brother is using the PC for, which I haven't explained. I've kind of just said it's for PC gaming, but the only game he really plays is Roblox. And if you guys know anything about Roblox, it's really easy to run on any device, and something like your phone or a tablet can run the game. So running a game like Roblox on a PC isn't too hard, and that integrated graphics can actually run it really well. It can easily match up with the 60Hz refresh rate, which is why I said that this monitor and the PC fit really well, because running Roblox at 60 FPS is really easy and the monitor is able to handle that. So I am going to be upgrading this in the future though with something like a GTX 1050 Ti, which you can find pretty cheap, but the main reason why I'm picking that card specifically is because of the size of the computer. Obviously it's not a mid tower or full tower, it's really skinny, so you have to actually go for a low profile card. So you can easily get something like a GT 1030, but the performance on that is not the greatest. I actually used to have a GT 1030. You guys check some of my older videos, which by the way are like super cringe. You can actually see me use the GT 1030. But yeah, I'm looking for something like a GTX 1050 Ti, or looking for a low profile card like that, maybe upgrading it to 16GB of RAM, because if he does go on to move on to some newer games, he's gonna need that 16GB of RAM. Most of those games are like minimum 16GB now, so yeah, that's just gonna be an upgrade for the future. Obviously it's not right now since he still plays Roblox and like Minecraft at most, so this PC actually handles that really well. Yeah, and with that, those are all the parts that make up this $215 gaming setup. For the monitor, I just put the price at $50. Obviously I put all the prices, I already told you guys the prices of everything else, and it totals out at actually $215 exact, which is pretty good in my opinion, since you're getting so much value through all these items. You have a mechanical keyboard, you have a decent feeling mouse, a pretty good headset for the price, and yeah, you even have a PC, which is pretty crazy to think at such a low price. But yeah, what I'm going to do right now is show you guys it playing some games, and the only games I'm really going to show you are the games he's going to be playing, which are going to be Minecraft and Roblox, and maybe some other games if I can find. But obviously this is integrated graphics. It is the Intel HD 2500, which is like what, like 10 years old now, 11 years old, which is pretty crazy to think about. So obviously it's not gonna be able to run most games, but yeah, let's get on to the performance now. Alright guys, so you are currently listening to the microphone on the Logitech G33 II. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, but we are currently playing Taxi Boss in Roblox, and as you guys can see, it is running perfectly fine. We are at a really stable 60 FPS, it feels really smooth, and yeah, as you guys can see, we are running the game pretty perfectly here. I'm not really too sure. I think we're supposed to like pick up these people on the side of the road and kind of like, I guess, bring them around. That's what it's called, Taxi Boss. But yeah, it's running pretty well. This is kind of like an open world game, and as you can just see, even though it's loading in chunks, it's actually doing it pretty well. Yeah, which is pretty surprising for a game. Which shouldn't be that surprising because this is Roblox after all. But yeah, on such a cheap computer, I'm surprised that it actually runs this well, especially that it's on integrated graphics. So this is definitely playable. You can probably try some other games and you'll probably get similar results. Probably even like Phantom Forces and FPS games, they should be pretty easy to run since this is Roblox obviously. So yeah, let's move on to Minecraft so you guys can see what it looks like there. Okay guys, so we are currently in Minecraft here, and as you guys can see, it is at around 70 FPS in this flat world. Obviously this isn't a real world, but the only thing it really does here is kind of just like mess with redstone stuff here. So as you guys can see, he kind of just built this thing here. It's kind of like this wipeout game, I guess, and then he has like this thing here. I'm not really too sure what this is. I haven't played Minecraft in a while, but yeah, as you guys can see, it's running pretty well. If we go into like a server or something, it might go a little bit down, but yeah, it's holding up pretty well, and especially for like a iGPU that's like 10 years old, it's pretty crazy that it's still able to even run the games, which is pretty nice. And yeah, it's running pretty smoothly. I'm having no problems playing here. If you actually turn off F3, yeah, it looks pretty good. And yeah guys, the two games that he wants to play actually work pretty well. So yeah, let's go back and end this video off. Alright, and with all that is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and make sure you guys do check out my last video on my $750 budget gaming PC.